I have a great idea.
But I'll never do it.
It might happen. Sure, the monkey's might fly out of my butt. I don't think so.
I don't see it happening.
Hey, it's me, John.
And me, Louise.
I feel like you're the one that usually does the more sing-songy kind of thing, and I just went kind of sing-songy.
I like it, though. A little reversal.
Not planned, but here we are. We're moving, we're grooving. The month is May. We're doing an I Have a Great Idea, but I'll never do it. The podcast all about the 2 a.m. ideas that we have that we're never going to do.
Seriously.
Louise,
Someone else should, though.
Yeah, totally. And if you do have a great idea that you want to share on the show that you'll never do, called 304-804-IDEA. That's 304-804-4332. And leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show. You could also email us greatideapod@gmail.com. Louise, we did get a voicemail, but it was a butt dial. It was a complete stranger, but it was a butt dial. So I'm not going to play the entire 3-minute long message that they accidentally left. That's gibberish. But I did send them a message, a text saying, hey, you butt dialed the podcast. Why don't you actually intentionally leave us a message? And I never heard back, probably because they think that it was some sort of scammy kind of a thing.
Okay.
I don't blame them.
Here's an idea, a great
Tell me.
one. Don't butt dial people. No.
Tell your butt to keep its fingers to itself.
That's right.
Louise, how's your brain been recently?
I mean, intermittent is the best way to explain it.
Oh no. You glitching out?
Yeah, I am. We've had 2 plumbing emergencies since the last podcast. So there's been a lot of not sleeping and cleaning up. More so my significant other than me, but I am then only in charge of toddler when other things are happening. And I got to tell you, I'm not sure which requires more energy. And then there are other times, as I said, intermittent. I took myself to the theater yesterday. I saw a matinee. I know. And someone was like, how was it? And I was like, Opinion City about like all sorts of things in a very lucid way. And I was like, oh, hey, brain. Coming online.
Yeah.
Coming online, brain. Okay.
That's because you were in your like proper habitat, the theater.
Yes, that's right. I was in my happy place even when I was critiquing.
What was the show that you saw?
I wasn't really critiquing. That was a bad way to say it. I was just
processing.
That's right, processing. I saw The Notebook, the musical.
Oh, okay.
And some things that took my brain on a journey were all very insider baseball things, in the same way that maybe a cinephile will watch a movie and be like, oh man, that was one long shot or whatever. Whereas like someone who's just watching movies isn't going to realize that that was all like one shot on a dolly and that 30 minutes was one take or whatever.
Right.
But I was doing a lot of insider baseball processing and still processing.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah, I feel like there were parts of me, just quick coffee talk about the theater. There were parts of me that was like, I can't decide if I feel like the reason I'm crying is because they earned it or because Nicholas Sparks can be very manipulative.
I knew you were going to say manipulative. And I don't think I've seen or read a single Nicholas Sparks work. I get that feeling from what I've seen of his work, like, you know, snippets, clips from movies, things like that, where it's just like, oh, okay, this is using a lot of tools to get me to like get the audience to try and feel something. And
I did feel it.
And
I did feel it. And I also just want to preface with saying everyone in the show was phenomenal. Like I am an actor's actor, and I often feel like part of the reason people don't like musicals is because they think it's like very saccharine and like inauthentic, and the acting in this musical was on point.
Cool.
And I believed that the stakes matched the story, if that makes any sense.
Sure. Yeah.
But it to no fault of the musical, I did feel manipulated, I think. I'm still processing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess any kind of like entertainment media is meant to, and I using the word very broadly, manipulate. You don't watch a drama movie and hope that I hope this isn't gonna bum me out. It's kind of just like I hope that this appropriately bums me out, so that I can put myself into the story a little bit. And
it's like a little empathy tingler.
Exactly. Ooh, empathy tingler. I like that. So Louise, this is kind of going back a little bit. You mentioned movies. I did have a great idea that does have to do with movies. If we want to springboard onto that.
Spring into it. Hit me with it. I'm excited.
Okay. So, clearly the video rental store is, there's no more Blockbuster. Well, there's one more Blockbuster here in Oregon.
In Alaska.
It's in Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah. And there in Portland, Oregon, we have a fantastic video rental store called Movie Madness. And it does very well. It is part of a nonprofit. But also they have a lot of like movie memorabilia there and costumes from like old films and some newer films. And they've got their own thing going, but it's very popular. I think it works because it is in a city like Portland. I know that there are video rental stores in other cities that do quite well because it is the type of place where that does very well. But in perhaps the flyover states, maybe there aren't as many. And I thought of a really interesting way to kind of bring back a video rental store in a new way. And that's a video rental store for home movies. So,
Ooh.
So all of these home movies would be, they would live at the video store given by the people who are the owners of the video. It is agreed upon that it is okay for other people to watch the contents of these videos. And it's a fun way to kind of get a peek, because how many times are you watching like some sort of social media clip and there's like some old home video and it catches your attention because it's just like, wow, that was what it was really like in 1988. And man, I can't believe that is still around and da-da-da-da-da. And so I think that home movies are a really fun way to kind of, look back at the past, whether it's your home movie or not. And I think that in the context of a video store, it gives us the benefit of kind of an unlimited, window into the past, because typically we only have our own home videos or like our friends' old home videos that we may watch. But now we have access to all sorts of different types of stuff. And so this solves a problem of, a form of entertainment that maybe could be, looked at in a new way, but also it helps people who are trying to declutter their homes to not have their old tapes, their old VHS tapes. And perhaps also these video stores could part of what they do, like you send it over to them, they also digitize the media so that you have a digitized version of your media, but also it can be rented out digitally. So yeah,
they should also rent out the equipment. Like you can check out the VHS and a
The
VCR,
VCR, yeah.
so that you can you could
Well, yeah.
double up on that.
I wonder. I suppose you'd also have to like retrofit a VCR, or maybe it would create a reason to make new VCRs that have like HDMI ports, because what TVs nowadays have the correct ports for a VCR, the RCA cables. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that it would be a really fun way to, I don't know, introduce the world to, their neighbors in a different way.
Yeah, I like it. I also like about it. I don't have a whole lot of experience with this yet, but I will someday, about like school projects and how, like, when we were in school, you had to write, a 20-page paper and you had to have 5 different sources, and those were like whatever. But like maybe this home video from that period could be your source, because right now everybody gets everything on the internet, but it's like not as specific. And I was in a parking garage the other day. Believe me, this has a point. And I was like, whoa, look at that Woody. And, my partner knew exactly what I was talking about, but our, 3.5-year-old, not that 90% of the things we say don't go over her head anyway, but like it dawned on me after I said it, like, I'm going to have to explain to you this station wagon with paneling.
Right.
Like, I can't just assume that you'll know. But if you're watching these like really sort of, slice of life home movies, you might be exposed to that before someone has to explain it to you.
Sure.
I guess.
That's true.
And that could be like a cool thing. I also really, really, really like how sort of interesting and low stakes it is. And I will explain that further, in that I don't typically like reality TV because I don't, first of all, I respect writers a lot, and I feel like the time and energy they put into crafting a thing for me, I really, really appreciate. But the reality TV that I really enjoy is like the Great British Bake Show, because it is so low stakes and I can have it on in the background. And how nice. It's like a baseball game too. It's like I want it on because I am paying attention.
It's atmosphere.
But I don't necessarily have to be focusing like, what did I miss? What did that person say?
Yeah.
And of a different time period, I got to tell you, this is always my favorite parts of documentaries, when they have
archival footage.
Yeah, like the nostalgic, authentic archival footage.
Yeah. So having
more so than a reenactment.
Sure. Having produced reality shows, and my role was essentially writer, but you're writing not always using a script. You're kind of writing using footage. You're writing interview questions, things like that. But also for people who are appearing on a reality show, and this was different at the beginning of reality TV, but now it has come to a point where if you are a personality on a reality show, you know the character that you're playing, and you know the person who you want to portray, because you know that people will be watching for all sorts of different reasons. And for home videos, you see people's authentic selves. And even if they're like mugging for the camera, that's them knowing that they're mugging for the camera. They're not trying to change their personality so that the world thinks that they're a different type of person than they really are.
Right. And I guess it's like less, I don't know how to say it better, but it's like less provocative. It's they're being goofy in their driveway for the purposes of like the person filming,
right? Rather
than to create a brand so that they can sell a clothing line or a skinny vodka, or I don't even know, like they're not trying to skyrocket to fame to monetize. They're just goofing for the person filming them.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. I mean, I like it.
Good. I'm glad that you like it.
I would be all over that rental store.
Cool. Let's make it happen.
Do you?
Just
Yeah,
kidding.
I was like,
We're
do you have
never
a
gonna
fun
do
name?
it.
Yeah, no.
I don't have a fun name for it.
Okay,
I
that's
don't know.
fair.
Time capsule video. How about that?
I love it. Wow, what a difference! Time capsule video.
Hey, Blockbuster's not using that anymore. May as well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't write it. Wow, I like it. Okay, neat.
What you got? What's been on your mind?
I mean, nothing related to movies.
That's
and
okay.
Not
We don't always
okay.
have to like
segue
ping-pong,
properly.
Exactly.
Okay, well then here's my great idea. It's a government fruit forgiveness program if you've got a toddler. And it's like if you've got a solid food age child up until whatever mark, even if they're like, look, we'll give it to you 2 years old to 5 years old, 3 years of fruit forgiveness, like normal people, I don't know. Where I live, strawberries cost like $6-7 for like a little carton container. But if that could cost me $3 only for those 3 years, because my child consumes so much fruit.
Yeah.
And I don't have cravings for strawberries on the regular. Like sometimes I'm like, oh man, that would be a cute little garnish on my cocktail. Like I wish I had a fresh strawberry, but it's fine if I don't. But she's like inhaling the whole carton in like a day. So if we could do that, Big Brother, that would be great. It would just be like a little thank you. Yeah. Just a little government fruit forgiveness.
Yeah, I do like that. And I know that it all changes depending on where you live, but government assistance that's, food based for people who are in need of such a thing. I know where I am in Oregon, the system is pretty good. It's a pretty good system. And it could be expanded to different types of need. And it's, even if you are in a situation where you are, living comfortably, we can say, not like filthy stinking rich, because whatever, they can pay full price for the berries, but like, perhaps there is some sort of income bracket or some other parameter where it's just like, yeah, for these few things. And it's like, it would certainly be a tough thing to monitor. So maybe it's only like from certain stores or something where like they get, they offset the cost or something like that. Yeah.
And I got to tell you, even if I was not in the bracket, I would still want the program to exist for people who would need it. Yeah. Just because I often feel like also people in situations, we'll call it the poverty line, maybe don't even get fresh produce on the regular anyway. So I would still want the program to exist even if I wasn't benefiting from it. But yeah, like a government fruit forgiveness just for like a year. Even like that would be.
Hey, I've got a fruit kid too, and that kid, if you just put a bottomless pit of like blueberries in front of her, she would just never stop.
That's right. Look, and I'm not saying all of us are fruitarians, okay? I'm just saying for a time, just a blip to help out, Well,
also it's a healthy food. It encourages sale of, fresh fruit rather than like processed sugary fruit products, we can say. And I think that's a really cool idea. I like that.
Okay.
Do you have a name for that since we're talking names?
I don't. Government fruit forgiveness program.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do have something that is food shopping related. You want to hear it?
I do.
I had a really vibrant imagination the past few weeks since we last recorded. And so I feel like I'm hitting a lot of the different categories here. So How many times? Okay, first of all, when you go to a grocery store, are you a rolling shopping cart person or a handheld basket person?
Ooh, okay. When I was a city dweller, I was a basket person because
Okay.
I was like, if I got to carry this in the basket around the store, I need to carry it a couple blocks home and up some stairs. But now that I'm in the burbs, I'm a cart
You're
pusher.
a cart pusher.
Hmm.
I'm mostly a basket person. Sometimes I'll do those little like stubby carts if
Yeah.
like I'm doing things that maybe are just cumbersome that are just not going to work out well. I do live in a city. It's like a residential area, but I do live walking distance from multiple grocery stores. So I am not doing like huge shopping. So I am typically basket through and through. And I find that I am always having to say, because I have my canvas tote at the bottom of the bag or at the bottom of the basket. And so whenever I go up to the line, they're just like, I need any bags. And I'll just be like, oh, there's a bag at the bottom. Or I just instinctually say, like, there's a bag at the bottom. Wouldn't it be nice? Because what else do you do with that bag? You know, you're just kind of like shuffling it around that basket. You stick it at the bottom, you're good. But when it comes to bagging the groceries get unloaded first, then the bag gets unloaded, which kind of wastes a little bit of time when it comes to bagging. So if there was a shopping basket that had a compartment for your reusable bag or bags, maybe it's a little like slot underneath, like a little slow compartment, or maybe it's something that's like on the side that's just like a little compartment so that you can get everything in there while also having your bag accessible.
I like it.
That's
We
where
are
I'm at.
also canvas bag people.
Hell yeah.
It was actually one of the things on my wedding registry, and people were like, "Are you joking?" And I was like, "I am not. Buy me this." Um, but we have a plethora of canvas bags, and I was thinking as you were talking, wouldn't it be amazing if you could also like trash can liner the basket with your bag and then put your groceries in it? And then when they check you out, they can just scan, and then you undo the liner and it's already like even packed up in the bag.
Imagine that.
You'd need a new canvas bag for this, but I was just thinking while it was happening. I like it.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't already some sort of, bag that is meant to kind of line the basket. But I haven't seen any in the wild.
I also feel like a little bit, not that I'm a great bagger, but I often feel like I need to micromanage the bagger. So I do a lot of the bagging myself because I'm like, actually, it will all fit. Let me show you.
I typically let them do their thing, and more often than not, they are way better at it than I would be. They would do something where I'd be like, ooh, I didn't think this was going to fit, but you made it work.
Okay.
And honestly, it's like, it's pretty low stakes for me.
Totally. Maybe that says something about my psychology. Like I'm so like out of control in all these different ways that I need to control the grocery bag.
However, if I'm at a grocery store and I have purchased an item that is meant to be eaten in the car as soon as I get there before driving away, I will keep an eye on where they're putting it so that I know how to get to it when I get back to the car.
Nice.
A little treat for the road.
A roadie. I like it. No, that's a good idea. Like just even, it doesn't even have to be that high tech. Like just like get
it's no
those
tech.
like bungee cables and be like, drape it over this.
Yeah. Easy.
Easy peasy. I like it.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm going to give you kind of my the idea categories that I have, and we'll see if any of yours fit into those.
Okay.
I've got, I guess, practical fashion, animals/pets, moving, an app, And then I have what you challenged me to about 2 hours ago.
Okay, nice. I have some fashion.
Let's do fashion.
I have some fashion. Okay, I have 2, and one's an app. Should I burn through both of them? And
yeah, let's do it.
okay, so the first one is super easy and quick. It's called Skants. And they're like a skirt and they're like a pants, but it's longer.
Okay.
So it looks like you're fancier than you are, but it's like not culottes.
Not
it like
culottes.
looks like it could be a skirt, but it's
Okay.
pants.
Okay.
So it's a way to sort of just be like a little bit dressier. I know this is super silly, but I was watching a reel or something, and somebody said, like, for 30 days, I made an effort to be more put together when going out into the world and do things, and just to, like, as an experiment to see what it would do. And they were like, people treated me differently when I was like just a little bit more put together.
Huh.
And I got to thinking, like, I do kind of live in spandex a little bit. And then one day I got dolled up to go somewhere, and my husband was like, oh, huh. Like, look at you. And I was like, are you kidding? Like, it's just jeans and a silk shirt. But because I live comfortably,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a special occasion to like just be a little ticked up in appearance. So skants, skirt
Skants.
pants.
Might I ask what you would wear skants to? Where are you when you're wearing your skants?
What wouldn't you wear skants to? You could wear it to a birthday party, a backyard barbecue, shopping at the mall, groceries.
And we're talking
You could-
like ankle length situation, calf length.
yeah, ankle, calf might be a little too short. I
Too
don't
short.
know.
Okay.
Calf
Maybe
might,
somewhere splitting the difference if you're feeling
calf
a little
might be
fun
okay
and flirty.
though. But calf might be okay though. Yeah, if you're feeling fun, like flirty, you need a little more breezy in there. The reason that I hesitate for calves is that there's more swish movement for someone to realize that it's not a skirt, maybe.
Got it.
Like they have to elevate you enough to, I don't know. And it's like there's more to it than that. It's like the thickness of the fabric, and thickness is not even like a good term, like the sturdiness rather. Like you can have a very, very plush, like milky, pillowy denim.
Okay.
And you can also have a very stiff, structured denim. So it's just like the way that it moves has to be skirt-like without feeling like you're at like Woodstock. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So also, you first described this as being like a skort, which in my mind, when I think of a skort, I'm thinking of shorts that have an extra layer of fabric that kind of goes around it. And so
Okay.
Am I off on that?
No,
Okay.
I didn't think about it in that way, but now that you say that, I'm like, oh, so then I guess they could be knee length or like calf length because you'd have that extra bit.
Right. So that's what I'm wondering is it essentially pants, but with an extra thing going on?
You know, I think now that we've really, really dissected it, I think you're right. I think it is an extra bit.
Okay.
So that there's no confusion if it's pants. So yes,
Got
to
it.
that.
Beautiful. Love it.
Any length.
Any length.
Skants. And because the fashion industry is constantly trying to reinvent itself so that you continue to buy,
Yeah.
we won't call it a skirt anymore. We'll call it skants.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, look, I don't know much at all about women's fashion, traditionally women's fashion. And I feel like the last time I heard of like a skirt situation was quite a few years ago. I don't know how popular they are these days.
But the thing is I got to tell you, it's just like theater. It's like there are things in the fashion world, as an example, cheerleaders. When I was in high school, the cheerleaders would wear their skirts and they'd wear booty shorts underneath the skirts.
Yeah, bloomers.
Oh.
I, as a high school and college mascot, which you and I have talked about off mic recently, I was part of the cheerleading squads.
Okay.
And so I remember them being more bloomers rather than booty shorts, which implies booty shorts implies a little bit of extra fabric going down the legs, whereas these were more like, underwear over your underwear.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I was like, booty shorts were essentially like biker shorts.
Yeah.
And they wore them under their skirts.
Bicycle shorts, not like vroom vroom Harley Davidson shorts.
Right.
I don't think those are
bicycle
such a thing.
shorts. And they were like, it was legit. It was that. It was like a tight shorts. And now I heard someone recently and they were like, hot pants. And I was like, what are hot pants? And they had to explain it to me.
It's booty
and
shorts.
It was the same thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, fashion industry, you've been selling skirts for years. You're going to essentially continue to sell skirts, but we're going to call them skants.
Yeah. There you go. It's also fun. It's fun to say. Scants.
And maybe skirts are skirt shorts and skants are skirt pants.
Yeah. That's exactly it. You nailed it.
Exactly. I love it.
So my fashion idea is definitely way more functional, and I think that this is an alteration to existing clothing, specifically pants, since we're on that subject. So I am in my 40s. My body is changing in ways where I'm just like, why is it doing that? This shape is weird. Why? And I'm finding that my pants are not staying up in the way that they used to. And it's very irritating, and I don't like it. I don't always want to wear a belt. Also, I have never really been a suspender guy. So, look, it's 2024. We are hacking our bodies in new ways, and I think that it's time that we surgically implant a snap to the back of our lower back.
Nice.
And then you just kind of attach something to your pair of pants so you can snap it to your back. Because also, sometimes if like I'm just like, these pants are fitting me great, and I'll like move a weird way and it's like they're halfway down my ass. And it's just like, no. That's got to stay up there.
These were fitting me great.
Yeah.
Maybe. Wow. Surgical snaps.
So, I mean, I say surgically implanted, but it's more of a piercing. But I guess there's, this is a way to kind of train our body to evolve so that this just becomes part of what our bodies are like.
Yeah. You don't have to like explain or think too hard about it. Just, this is an idea. This is just
I'm not here to figure out how to make it happen. I'm just here to tell you that it needs to happen.
That's right.
304-804-IDEA. That's 304-804-4332. GreatIdeaPod@gmail.com. Louise, you said you had an app idea, fashion app.
I do. And I'm not sure like how practical it is, but that's not why we're here. It's a tailor app and not the Swift kind. Basically, up and coming seamsters and seamstresses, tailors.
Yes.
Will offer to make your garment at the price that they think the work is. And there are different levels. I don't know if this happens for men's haircuts. It certainly happens for women's. You can have like the apprentice do it. You can have like the master person do it. And then you can have like the creative person do it. And you pay for your haircut in these like tiers based on the experience of the hairdresser. Okay, so you can do that within the app. You can pick, I want to get it done as cheaply as possible, or I want this to be essentially a replica of the thing that I want. Here is an example of how I would use it. There are these swimsuits. I think they're like specifically like modesty type things, but the way that they're marketed is you don't need a cover up. It's like it's basically like a jumpsuit or a romper, but it's a swimsuit. So you have like the support in the chest, you have like the brief under it, but you've got the flowy top thing, and it does like a pretty flattering wrap that maybe ties at your waist, and it's like a one piece. I don't need it for modesty. I need it for UV protection.
Yeah.
My family is prone to melanoma, and now that I am also in my 40s, I'm like, I used to wonder if I could just be beautiful and tan all the time, and now I just don't want to have a problem. So the way to not have a problem is to like wear a rash guard. But this company, at the end of last summer, I wrote to them and I said, look, I feel like I love this so much. Like I really, really love it. But if for next season, you guys could do like high visibility colors, because my favorite thing to do on summer vacation is paddleboard. But if you're out on a lake where there are also jet skis and boats that go fast, like not canoes, you need to make sure that they can see you and not like, have some sort of disaster happen. So I was like, if you could do some high visibility colors, I would buy one in every color.
Yeah.
Because I would like to do that. And they wrote back to me and they were like, that is such a great idea. Yes. Cut to. On May 5th, they launched their summer line, which included 12 different colors and patterns. 0 of which were high visibility colors.
Ooh.
They were all like browns and mustards and blacks and navies, like every single one of them. Every single one of them. 12 colors, none high visibility. I'm like, not even a cherry red, which I am a fire sign for those of you who like to occasionally believe in horoscopes. And I have to be very careful with red. It's a power color. Not that I can't ever wear it, but it's not my regular thing. Not just because I'm an Aries, but just regular colorology or whatever. But not even a red. And it just made me like think, I would like to, so to get back to my idea, I would like to take a picture of this garment. I would like to purchase the spandexy swim UV protective material, send it to someone with my measurements and say, make me this.
Wow. Fashion hacking. I like it.
I know. Or as another thing, I am 5'1.5", and typically 90% of the blue jeans that I have, I need to have altered.
Yeah.
Because I am a shorty. If you just said, this is the pant, this inseam, and then they mail it back to you, that would be great.
Yeah.
Like shortening a garment that already exists, like a typical tailor, just maybe a beginner who's going to like get the job done and let's get serious. I'm going to step on the back anyway, and it's going to get all torn and tattered on the,
Right.
I don't know.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Do you have a name for it?
Just a little something. I don't know. My Tailor app.
My Tailor app. How about this? I've got, why don't I do my app idea and then we'll move on to our challenges from the last episode. How does that sound?
Great. It sounds great.
Okay. I feel like you're going to like this one because I know you pretty well.
Okay.
So I remember at the beginning of emails, you log on to AOL, it says you've got mail. And it's just like, oh, okay, interesting. I have maybe 1 or 2 emails because who knows my email address, but, a handful of people. However, now you get dozens, if not hundreds of emails a day from every single company you've purchased something from or even looked at their website for in the past, 15 years. So right now I'm on the job hunt. I've been interviewing. I've been, submitting resumes for things. And every time my phone makes a notification sound for an email, I'm like, huh, is it news on that thing I interviewed for? And then it's just like some garbage. I feel like we need to have an email app that utilizes AI to scan the contents of the email for keywords and give you a different notification sound. You're making this, I can see on the look of your face that you love this, that gives you a different notification sound based on what the vibe of the email is. So if it contains the word unsubscribe, it's going to be an email from some sort of company or something. It can be ignored for a certain amount of time. If you are, like I am, applying for jobs and it scans and it sees the word unfortunately, it gives you a different chime than something that might give you hope.
I like it.
If it's, and then also it's like if it's from a sender where it's like, a known person that you can correspond with, that's something different. But it's like, if we're going to be using AI, it should be doing shit like this.
Yes,
and,
1,000.
Yeah, we wanted to make our lives better, a little bit less stress and anxiety. And so if a tone from your phone is the way to kind of do that by controlling that, then let's make it happen.
I also feel like I have different sounds for different alarms in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I have different sounds specifically for like certain friends that will text rather than just like any text.
Yeah.
If we can set up those parameters, come on, AI.
Yeah.
Yes. 1 million. 1 million%.
You made me think of this when you mentioned the alarm thing. And I don't know if this is an option on certain things, but, so many of us use our phones or tablets or whatever for alarms for the morning. For the snoozers out there, is there a way to have different tones for each time you snooze? So it's like the first alarm is maybe a little gentle, whatever, and it's enough to get you to be like, snooze. The next time it's just like, okay, you had your 9 more minutes. Now let's think about making it happen. You snooze one more time. And then the next one is like, Sony Dream Machine style.
Yeah. That is I don't know that exists. And it should.
And it should.
Because I tell you what, I have manufactured that process in that I will have an alarm go off at 8:08, 8:18, 8:28, and they get increasingly more aggressive for getting my child in the car to get her to daycare. And so even she hears like the first one and she's like, time to get in the car. And I'm like, yup. And then she dumps a puzzle out on the floor. And I'm like, no, you knew it was time to get into the car. Put that puzzle away. But on the third one, she knows. So I have manufactured this with multiple alarms, but how great would it be to just have had to snooze it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. See? We got this.
These are actually really great ideas that somebody should do.
304 idea. Call us. Leave us a voicemail. greatideapod@gmail.com. Write to us.
Make our dreams come true.
Yeah. Louise, what did I challenge you to on the last episode?
Okay. Well, last time, a little passive aggressively, you swung the challenge back in my face of the previous challenge that I challenged you, and it's interior paint.
Did you see that as passive aggressive?
It was aggressive.
It was I don't know. Well, okay.
Assertive aggressive?
My intentions were not aggression. I would never. And if you ever perceived something coming from me in your direction as in any form of aggression,
no,
I would hope that you would call me out in that moment.
Yeah,
but
no.
You stumped me with a challenge, and I was just like, I don't know, like, and it was kind of just like, I'd like to see what your brain can come up with.
And here's what my brain did.
Okay,
get ready. I got 4 variations on a theme. You apply the paint frosting icing style. And so the consistency of the paint is thicker. And you use you glob it on like the way you do icing on a cake. And you use a scraper to just smear the pigment around. And I don't know how much you've if you have a cake on a cake turntable and you have the scraper and it is smoothing out the frosting, the icing, and then you have the excess and you wipe it off the scraper back into the bowl. So you glob it on, you scrape around the pigment till it's evenly coated, you remove the excess, and you let it dry. Idea 1. Idea 2, similar, different icing consistency, but you know how sometimes you can squeeze it onto the top and it dribbles down the sides? Yeah. Okay, you squeeze it across the top border by the ceiling and you scrape it downward. And it's in the same type of thing where the consistency is not that of runny in a bucket interior paint. The consistency is workable in this way. And then it's thinner. It runs a little bit, and then you got to, brush it out, smooth it out. You squeeze a little more, it dribbles, you brush it out, It also probably means that the tools you're using have to change. The scraper clearly has to be, not really a scraper, because otherwise you might hit an uneven older home wall and you're going to chunk something off. But that's the general idea. Okay, third take on the theme. It's the backsiding of some, we'll use air quotes for the listeners, wallpaper. But essentially you unroll it, you roll it on, you credit card squeegee it on. And then when you feel however long it has to be, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, then you peel off the wallpaper and the tacky other side was the paint that's on. Not dissimilar from certain cosmetic lip stains that women put on their lips. I don't know if you've seen these, but they're gummy. It's a little bit gummy, and you put it on. We'll call it purple for a particular brand, but it's this really shimmery, tacky, sticky gel that's purple, and you wait 20 seconds, and then you peel it off in the way that you would put maybe Elmer's glue on the palm of your hand in elementary school, and then peel it off. And then it's a lip stain that's oil resistant, and it's so that your lipstick doesn't have to be reapplied throughout the day. So it's just but in that way, but the wallpaper sort of tactic where you put it on, you smooth it out, and then you peel the paper off, but the paint is still on the wall.
I'm thinking right now, before you go to 4, I'm thinking of a fruit roll-up. How it is a square of the gummy, flat, square, whatever. And then you've got the I don't even know if it's still like this anymore, but the plastic thing that you peel off. So yeah, you put it all up, you get it how you want it to be, and then you peel that off, and then
you peel that off, and it's up. And it's not like wallpaper because it is wet and tacky. Yeah. And it has to kind of wallpaper, you have to be really mindful when you're lining up the pattern or whatever. And so it's a little more liquid and forgiving than wallpaper, but there is an adhesive side that comes off. Okay, number 4, sticking with a cosmetic inspired idea.
Okay.
It's like a gel manicure. So you put the paint on and you get it the way that you want it. You apply it, and you can kind of be a little sloppy with it because you're going to use a tool to go around like your nail or your cuticle to get it off the skin. But when you're ready, you stick it in a little machine and you put UV rays on it, and it dries and hardens. So similarly, you slap the paint on the walls, you apply it. You know, if it gets on the ceiling, it's fine. You wipe it off. If it gets on the floor, what's that called? Molding. It's like a kick plate or whatever. You know, you can wipe it off. It's like the consistency of the paint is a little bit different in that it's not as big of a deal if you get it somewhere because the cleanup's super easy.
Right.
And when you get it the way you want, you can get like a dome shape light. You put it in the room, you put your tanning goggles on from, you know, if you're a child of the 90s and your mom went to the tanning bed, and you walk out of the room as you flip the switch, you take your goggles off, the UV rays are penetrating the walls and drying the paint. And then after, 20 minutes, you turn it off, your walls are dry.
I think that's the winner.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. I like the idea that, you just kind of put something up there, you trim around the sides, you get rid of all the excess stuff. You have the, UV lamp, heat lamp, whatever it is that kind of bakes it onto the wall. And maybe there's just a little bit of residue to clean up or something like that. But everything is there. I like that.
Okay.
Did
I win?
You did it. And I feel like you properly shamed me by doing 4.
I don't know if any of these things will work, but.
Oh, yeah, probably not. But who cares?
Yeah, no, they were ideas.
So on our last episode, you did not have a challenge for me.
I spaced out.
Yeah. And
Dropped
so
the ball.
You challenged me about 2 hours ago with parties. And I approached this in kind of the way that I feel like only that would feel appropriate for me as somebody who at this point in my life, I have turned into somebody who is more of an introvert, and I don't like parties. I don't want to, I really don't like the idea of forced conversations. I mean, hey, I love my friends. I enjoy time I get to spend with them, but mostly I'd rather not be doing things like that. And for me, I also know that it's important to go to things like parties and, cosplay as a normal person for a little bit.
I love it.
But I feel like I need to be incentivized a little bit in a way that works for me. Kids get goodie bags at the end of parties.
Look at
Why
that.
don't adults?
Yes.
Adult
Yes!
goodie bags. And not I don't mean
love
sex toys and stuff, but
No.
grown-up goodie bags. But and nothing that doesn't need to be expensive.
No.
But something fun. Something that feels true to the party, the spirit of the party. I don't know.
I like it. A goodie bag for adults. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
that's what I got.
I love it. That was so good. You're very good with limitations. I
Oh,
should
thank you.
always 2-hour challenge you.
Might I ask what inspired you to challenge me to parties?
You can ask. I just attended basically every weekend in May. We have a party on the weekend. Last weekend, we went to a birthday party. It was a joint birthday party. The child was turning 1. The dog was turning 12, and the house was turning 100. So it was a joint party, and the theme was the guests of honor don't know that it's happening. That was the theme.
How do they decorate the house without the house knowing?
It was super. Yeah, it was. Well, it was in the backyard.
Oh, I see.
First of all,
It's not like the house is just like streamers on a Tuesday. All right.
But it was
random.
It was just generic birthday decorations. And I just thought, and it was an array of guests as well. They decided not to invite the previous owners because of like an illegal like renovation discovery.
Oh my.
That they made. So they were like, they're not invited to the house's 100 birthday. But you could have invited the previous owners. There were like playground friend attendees. There were the parents, the grandparents of the 1-year-old. There were some like dog park friends. Like there was a wide array of people to talk to and things to do. And there was like lawn games. Anyway, the whole thing just made me think. And then this weekend, we have a 3-year-old's birthday party that is at like a 3-year-old venue. And you have to sign a waiver so they don't get hurt on the indoor equipment. And it just made me think like, oh, and it's not a weekend, but then the next weekend we have a 6-year-old's birthday party. And then at the end of the middle of the third week, I have a going away party. Anyway, of all the parties going on, I was just thinking of the logistics that go into throwing a party.
Yeah.
And the way you have to do all the mental math of, I need there to be enough food, but I need it to fit in my fridge, so I can't over order to have too much because I need some place to store it. And then, you know, as like toddler parties, like there usually is a goodie bag, so you would take something with you. Is that something you want to do? Are alcoholic beverages part of this? Just the whole logistics. And then the going away party that I have to go to. The first problem is there is a party planning committee, which is always a bad idea. One person should just do it and everyone else should just get the invite and RSVP. However, there's a committee, and 2 people on the committee have opposing expectations.
Oh.
One wants the party to be very, not formal is the wrong word for it, but to let the guest of honor know how much they will be missed and they're moving. And it's a going away party. I don't know if I said that. I think I did.
I didn't. Maybe I spaced out for a second.
It's a going away party. So they want them to know like how much they're like loved and appreciated and how much they'll be missed. So they want the party to be like a little more elevated than the other person on the committee who is like, they don't want to do that. Everyone else doesn't want to dress up. We should go to this place that we know that person loves, even though it's not fancy, and we should XYZ. So it got me thinking as I was watching the dynamics of this committee play out and knowing how much in advance I have to have things planned because of said toddler parties. And I was like, boy, I wonder what kind of ideas can come from just like parties.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way,
Parties.
the second person that you mentioned on that committee is the right one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is my opinion as well.
Well, hey, I love it. And look, parties are something that comes up for everybody at some point. I know that I'm really going to have to start thinking about something for my kid who's having a birthday this summer. And I've started looking into things and being like, oh my God, that's so expensive. And I know that this limits how many people can be there. And this is only allowing for 10, kids and 8 adults. And it's like, how's that going to work out? And
honestly, like the runway that you need sometimes, because people go away on summer vacations and you want to have like the certain people there and you got to send the invite and then give them enough time to RSVP. Yeah. And like, there just needs to be, I don't know, like.
Well, yeah, it's just like, okay, well, I know that like my parents are going to be in town. So that's 2 more adults. And then it's like, and then, these grown-ups are going to have to be there if this person is there. So that's 3 more adults. And
Yeah,
so
the
then
politics.
it's like, and then it's like me and the mom. And it's just like, at this point, none of the other adults can stay if they're dropping their kids off. Even if they're like our friends, we're just like, sorry, you got to go find something to do for 2 hours.
Yep.
I don't like it.
No. It's a racket.
It's a whole racket.
Making memories, core memories is a racket.
Louise, I've got a challenge for you for the next one.
I'm excited.
Louise, I want you to invent a new sport.
Oh my word. Okay.
Do you think that that's possible?
Yes, because I'm an optimist. Yes, and I'm also an overachiever. So yes, I do think it's possible.
I'm going to say this. We only need 1. We don't need 4.
Okay. One good sport.
One, it doesn't even need to be good. It just needs to be new.
Okay. Your challenge is a lot more specific and also a lot broader. Stickers.
See, these one-word challenges are fascinating. Okay.
Yes.
Stickers. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we love to hear your ideas. 304-804-IDEA. That's 304-804-4332. Leave us a voicemail with your great idea. Perhaps it's a new sport. Perhaps it's stickers. Perhaps it's about fashion, whether it's adapting something to make yourself feel more comfortable, or perhaps to help be more visible when there is a speedboat coming through, or perhaps it's something that's more functional. We'd love to hear from you. Also, greatideapod@gmail.com. Louise, I know that right after this, we're about to record some of our other podcast, Got It. So everybody should go check out Got It. It's our plucky utterance game show. Word game.
Not everybody has an hour to listen to us talk, but everybody's got 2 minutes.
You got 2 minutes? Check out Got It. It's punchy. It's fun. It's brief. And Louise, thank you for hanging out with me.
Thanks for hanging out with me.
I don't see it happening.